James Harden was in rhythm early, hitting a couple of threes and dishing out 4 assists. He was cooking against Jonathan Kuminga, showing flashes of one of those classic beard games. With 8 points and 4 assists already, Harden was looking sharp and energized. The Clippers, meanwhile, were dominating on offense, shooting an impressive 53%. Buddy Hield added to the momentum with a slick drive, slicing past Amir Coffey to lay it in. The Warriors needed their second unit to bring some energy and shift the tide. One of the standout plays came when a Warrior drove straight into the paint and finished over the 7-footer Mo Bamba, a seriously impressive finish that sparked the bench. Harden, ever the playmaker, weaved through traffic and set up Bamba for a clean look. But Kyle Anderson rotated over to help, forcing a quick decision. Hield made the most of the next possession, stepping into a 3 with confidence. Exactly the kind of tempo the Warriors thrive on. Moments later, they moved the ball around to Moses Moody. Nicholas Batum closed out hard, but Moody stayed composed and flipped in a crafty finish inside. Jonathan Kuminga followed with another slick left-handed finish. He clearly prefers that direction and uses it well. Kevin Porter Jr. went to work on Anderson, a tough defender, spinning into a clean shot. It was contested, but Porter's offense beat the defense. On the other end, Batum knocked down a weak side 3 after the defense collapsed on the post. The Clippers were making the Warriors pay for every mistake, and Amir Coffey drilled a transition triple to keep the pressure on. Buddy Hield spaced out but passed on the shot. Instead, Moody stepped into a 3 and nailed it. Still, another Warriors turnover, their 9th of the game, led to Coffey cashing in again. But Kuminga and Moody got into a rhythm, running a 2-man game that ended in a beautiful tic-tac-toe finish. The Warriors kept running screens to create mismatches, and Trayce Jackson-Davis turned a foot race to the rim into a hammer dunk. The crowd erupted. Kuminga then drilled a 3 with his feet set, cutting the lead to just 1 point. Kevin Porter Jr. attacked late in the shot clock and finished strong at the rim. The second half was much more competitive, and Hield knocked down another 3 to tie it up. Kuminga's decision-making was sharp, making plays on both ends of the court. Ivica Zubac found a cutting Kevin Porter Jr., but Kuminga was ready, rotating to contest the shot and erase the easy 2. On the very next possession, he ran the floor and finished with authority, showing off that elite bounce. It was a coast-to-coast highlight from a defensive rebound to a transition bucket. Inside, the Warriors showed quick hands, and Kuminga again showed the finesse and power to finish in traffic. He now had a dozen points and was becoming a real problem for the Clippers. The Warriors were starting to find their flow, but Norman Powell responded with a big 3. He had been hitting from deep all game and added another one, punishing the Warriors' slow defensive rotations. Andrew Wiggins answered right back, knocking down a 3 while getting hit on the hand. No call, but the shot counted. The game had turned into a back-and-forth battle. Stephen Curry was shaking out his right hand after taking contact, but still managed to return and turn the corner, laying it up and in. Draymond Green had set a rock-solid screen. Steph practically ran off his back to get that bucket. Amir Coffey made a great hustle play, blocking Steph on the next drive. Curry tried to save it by bouncing it off Wiggins, but the ball got loose. Harden recovered it, rose for a deep 3, but missed. It was a defensive stop the Warriors needed badly on. The next possession, Golden State played the clock smart. Going for a 2-for-1, they pushed the tempo. They were hoping for a 3, but settled for a Draymond to Steph layup attempt. Steph missed the 3, but the rebound was wild. Draymond saved it from going out. Wiggins kept it alive, and with 4 seconds left, Gary Payton II got a decent look. Just back iron. He drew contact, though, showing his strength and balance. Steph stepped to the line next. The first free throw, pure. The second, nothing but net. Doris Burke on the broadcast noted the Clippers' new identity. A shiny new arena, revamped jerseys, and an aggressive ownership group hungry for a championship. They've spent big and made bold moves, but the real challenge remains player. Availability. Injuries and age have consistently haunted their playoff hopes. Back in action, Bojan Bogdanovic hit a clean jumper off a Harden assist. At 220 pounds, he's not your typical guard. He can bully inside or knock it down outside. Moody swung the ball to Podziemski on the wing, who drilled his sixth make on 11 attempts. He was flat out carrying the offensive load and doing it efficiently. Green battled Zubac in the post, but on the other end it was Powell trying to score, only to be cleared out by Curry, who was now up to 4 rebounds. Steph pushed it up, found Draymond, and ran a screen on Harden to create space. Green took a mid-range jumper but couldn't convert. LA rebounded, and Harden continued his assault. He used the glass through contact for another and one style finish. He had 30 points by then, showcasing his elite ability to score through defenders. Moody found Steph on the next play with a beautiful pass. Curry made a quick move and drew the foul, heading back to the line. Harden was whistled for it. Steph calmly knocked down both free throws, after not going to the line once in the first half. Clearly, the halftime talk worked. The Clippers moved the ball around, Harden to Zubac, then to Kawhi Leonard, but the Warriors tightened up defensively. The intensity was turned up, and Kawhi's shot was denied by active hands and rotation. On the break, Steph trailed the play, caught the kick out, and drained a huge three. He was having a monster night and giving the Warriors the lead and energy they needed. With the Clippers trailing by 7, Tyronn Lue called timeout. The urgency was clear. He wanted to regroup his squad and snap them back into rhythm. The ball came back to Harden with 5 on the clock. James Harden was fouled in the act of shooting and headed to the line. No surprise there. He's an absolute master at drawing contact, always keeping defenders on edge. And as usual, he knocked both free throws down with confidence. Harden's versatility continues to shine, whether it's scoring, distributing, or getting to the line. He delivers. Back the other way, Steph Curry worked against Harden and kicked it to Brandon Podziemski on the wing. Draymond Green set a solid screen, and the Warriors drained another 3. The pick worked perfectly, but the Clippers' defense was late. Staying glued to shooters takes effort, and they weren't showing it. On the next possession, Kawhi Leonard used his strength and size to power inside. When he gets to the cup, there's not much you can do. He converted with ease, reminding everyone of the advantage he brings in the paint. With 1:41 left in the fourth, Curry pulled up from deep, bang, another 3. That gave him 43 points on the night. The Warriors had fully committed to the deep ball in the fourth, and it was paying off. Their ball movement was crisp, their rhythm on point, swinging the ball and hitting from outside like clockwork. Steph wasn't just scoring, he was in full control. Back on offense, he got to his spot, elevated from 11 feet, and knocked down another one. His awareness was elite, reading the defense, finding space, and capitalizing every time. The Clippers tried to respond. Leonard got a mid-range jumper to fall from about 14 feet, but the momentum was already leaning heavy toward Golden State. On the next trip, the Warriors stayed composed. Moses Moody passed it out to Podziemski, then got it back. Green set another hard screen, rolled to the rim, and hammered it home. The energy was electric. This was the kind of clutch execution that shuts the door on a comeback. Perfect timing, perfect chemistry. Kawhi hit another shot, but the clock was ticking. Golden State still led, with 17 points as their largest margin. Bogdanovic managed to pick Curry's pocket, and Harden made the most of it, scoring inside and cutting the lead. That brought Harden up to 34 points, still battling. But time was running out. The Warriors had possession with a 7-point lead, and the shot clock just a second ahead of the game clock. Podziemski had the ball again. Green came to set the screen.